Hello, I'm Kathleen Saltis, Prince George City Manager. Earlier this year, Prince George City Council confirmed that a referendum will take place in late October regarding the replacement of the Four Seasons Leisure Pool and Fire Hall Number 1. We want to make sure you're informed about the referendum and the facilities we're proposing to replace. This video is part of our efforts and will focus on Fire Hall Number 1. Fire Hall Number 1 was built in 1956 and is the oldest fire hall among the city's 4 fire halls. The facility is not built to withstand earthquakes, and it would cost more than building an entirely new facility to make it so. When it was built, it was ideally situated to serve the community, but Prince George has grown, technology has improved, and Fire Hall Number 1 is showing its age. Today, the facility falls short in terms of its size, capabilities, and location within Prince George. The location of a fire hall is crucial to its ability to serve as many residents as possible and as quickly as possible. Last year, the city enlisted Dave Mitchell, a former firefighter with extensive experience helping fire departments around BC. He thoroughly reviewed Fire Hall Number 1 and its location.
Fire Hall Number 2 in the west is well situated within its coverage area. This one, quite simply, was correct at the time it was built, but doesn't reflect its response area now. We know a lot about structure fires and how they propagate, and there's a number, about 8 minutes from the time of ignition. We expect, and there's very good scientific basis for this, that a fire will extend beyond the room that it originates in and will extend to the floor that the room is on. And if we can arrive total response time within about 8 minutes, we can hold fire damage down, we can hold injuries down, and fire deaths down. The response area for Hall Number 1 is all of this area here, but it's at the very edge of its response area. So what we really have recommended is a location, one that was very much closer to the center of its response area. So by simply moving the apparatus, putting the fire hall here, we get a huge increase. We get a 50% increase in the number of times the department will be able to respond to a structure within that first critical 8 minutes, either for a fire or for a life emergency.
Beyond its poor location, the fire rescue services are simply outgrowing the facility, and new modern equipment won't even fit in the building. All of this is occurring while demands are rising on the Prince George Fire Rescue Services and Fire Hall Number 1 in particular.
The study we did here is called a Standards of Cover Review, which looks at all of the ways the department responds and meets its needs for service. For basically everything it does, the call volume is going up. There's more calls and they're more complex.
About 50% of the calls for the service come through here. It's also the support hall for all of the other areas in the city.
Modern fire halls aren't just about trucks, hoses, and equipment. Today's fire halls must have state-of-the-art technology for providing a full range of emergency services. Even though Fire Hall Number 1 serves the downtown and key industrial sites, it has no emergency operations center, and its small dispatch area provides service to much of northern BC, yet it has no room to expand.
A modern emergency operations center needs to be able to support sustained operations for days, even weeks on end, and currently we're working out of a conference room which has served us well to this point, but a city like ours that has activated its EOC several times through the years, there's a great need for an improved EOC facility.
We're in our regionalized dispatch center. It's a fire operations communication center. We dispatch basically the middle third of the province, 79 agencies from basically the Alberta border short of Prince Rupert and from 70 Mile House north to Mackenzie. We have 3 consoles in the space at this point. If there was any opportunity for expansion, we would not have the ability to add any more workstations in this space. We would need a larger space for that. We also have equipment rooms that have the radio equipment and the computers that run all of this system, and that's been maximized. We have no more space to expand from in there. This space is repurposed bedrooms that has been redesigned for this dispatch center. So it's not designed for an actual to standards for a dispatch center today, and the setup is not ideal for what a typical dispatch center would be.
Fire Hall has served the community very well for 60 years, but it's at the end of its useful life. It's a challenge to fit the fire apparatus that we need in this part of the city into this building. We're literally just running out of space.
Thank you for taking the time to learn about the current state of Fire Hall Number 1 and why the City of Prince George is moving forward with a referendum to replace the facility. For further information about Referendum 2017, please visit www.princegeorge.ca. alberta.ca/referendum.